Alrighty, so today's video was originally going to be on an interview I did a while back with Tasty Wallet over his guide. Sorry, Tasty. That's being moved to next week because, look, we need to talk about something. Now, normally, I'm very positive about Atlas Earth. Well, cautiously positive, but positive enough. Cautiously because, have you seen their ad? Like, seriously, what is this? Anyway, today's not about the ad. I want to talk about one of the more frustrating aspects of the game as of late, and that is their minigames, specifically two of them, racing and fishing. Now, it's gotten to a point where they've both become nearly unplayable, and I feel like they're starting to drive players away. And yes, this is quite concerning, not just for the players who are doing well like myself, where I'm pulling top 25 to 100s each event, but also for the average person, if they want to make any profits outside of a particular mulligan strategy that I will talk about in a future video you can expect sometime early December. I finally got this video making streamlined now, huh? Anyway, let's start with racing. So the object of this game is during the countdown, you have to time a starting point to get a boost in the race on the odometer. And then you press boost 4 times in the green and time it just right so that you are faster than your opponent when you reach your top speed and win the race. At least that's what they tell us what we're supposed to do. Well, let's not mention that the optimal strategy is not going for 4 straight perfects, but getting either 2 goods followed by 2 perfects, and those goods have to just be right on the line below perfect. Or, and I found this a little bit more reliable, 1 good followed by 3 perfects. It depends on the race sometimes, it feels like. But one of the racing minigame's biggest issues comes down to a need for nearly perfect response time and how heavily dependent it is on your connection to Atlas Earth servers. If your internet connection is too bad, you're going to wind up with jitter so bad you can't even tell where the needle is on the odometer and where it's going to go next. Just look at this. How am I supposed to have a fair race when the odometer jitters around like this? Seriously. The only treatment for this issue seems to be force quitting the game after a race or mulligan and restarting the game every 2 to 3 or so. The last couple events have been so bad I've had to restart every single game. I feel like the performance degradation really shows after like the second game, and despite doing everything that you can, doing all perfects, doing the other methods, doing Tasty Wallet's method on his guide, you still will just watch your opponent just drive away like you're sitting still, and it's just ridiculous. Honestly, I do find it also very weird that it requires a connection reset to Atlas Earth servers in order for it to work properly and to be able to get best performance in racing. So, in my opinion, racing has become almost unplayable because of that reason. Like, why would I have to restart your game all the time just to get anywhere with it and to get any wins whatsoever? That's just my opinion, of course, but let's talk about fishing. Now, with fishing, first the rules of this. In fishing, you have a cursor that goes around and around, and you try to catch fish that pop up on the screen. You have 40 seconds, which usually amounts to trying to catch about 16 to 17 fish, and if you tie, the one that got the score first is the winner instead. Now, fishing does have the same connection issues as racing, but they're not quite as bad. Once in a while you'll get this issue where you get 2 or 3 fish popping up at once, and you don't know which fish to get, and the scores tend to be all wrong, but they mostly happen an average of like once an event. So, still once too much, but the major problem with fishing, in my opinion, are these tiebreakers. Basically, you can do everything perfect. Score is 16-16, everything to the letter. The screen says you're the first to get it, or you get that final fish at exactly the same time as your opponent, and then you gotta wait 15 to 20 seconds before you see a screen showing that you lost. But you can never be certain because sometimes you win too. And yes, this does matter because I need to know if I gotta press the mulligan button or not. This gets really frustrating, and I've done my own share of screaming and throwing my phone at a wall while doing this. Okay, so here's the main issue though. The minigames have been one of the best ways to get bonus Atlas bucks, whether or not you try to go for the top 500, or you go and mulligan for 2.5 hours, which 2.5 hours is crazy long for an event. Honestly, Atlas Reality, could you make it no more than 2, please? But I digress. And a lot of it is because the pots were at least somewhat decent. Early pots got as high as 200,000 for a 2-hour minigame event. But recent events can't even break 100,000 anymore. Fishing can't even break 80,000. A lot of that is because of several reasons. Length of the event is a major complaint. Fear of losing Atlas bucks is another, but I personally think that's been mollified with the mulligan strategy. But the biggest issue I feel are these lag issues and hidden rules, especially in fishing, and of course racing, but I think racing is more of a connection issue than anything else, that makes the games not very fun anymore. We're already seeing this problem in fishing, where we got the combination of tiebreakers turning games into a battle of who can catch the last fish first, and lag issues that make it impossible to know who actually won the fishing event. You could clearly see yourself be the first to catch the fish, as I had mentioned earlier, and you still lose most of the time. It has gotten to a point where the game just isn't as fun anymore, and consensus is kind of agreeing with me, it seems like, as the pots for fishing are the smallest of the three by far. Now, I don't really have much of a fix for racing other than they just really need to get a better server, one more suited for gaming, or get more servers, or whatever you need to do to get the connections better, so that we're not having these constant lag issues that are screwing people up, and making even hitting top 500 feel like an exercise in futility. For fishing, the tiebreaker rule honestly really needs to be fixed. Either create a half-point system where you declare a tie if they tie the score at the end, or have a sudden death final second or two, where the first one to get the last fish wins immediately. Something that feels more discreet than what we have right now. Now, the minigames haven't been all bad, and I did want to compliment the one game that is so far working alright, and that is golfing. Talking about the rules real quick, you have 30 seconds to score as many points as you can by clicking the swing button, and you get points based on where you hit. Green is 1 point, blue 2, pink 3, and orange 4. Most points wins, and tiebreaker is determined the same as fishing, who got to that points first. So, pretty much the same thing as fishing in that tiebreaker. The good with this game is they have done well limiting the dependency on having a good connection on it. I notice your inputs seem to only pass on the score you earned per shot, or maybe just the score in total, and Racer could definitely use something similar to help it out, though the jittering is still a problem there. However, I do have one fix I want to see for golfing before score creep destroys the fun out of this game too, and that is something like reshuffling the colors on the bar. I would put, for example, the 3 and 4 point spots in a different position to keep people from being able to just time their shots. Maybe put the piece of the 2 on top of it or something. Do a different position each game. Maybe invert the 4 and 3. I don't know. But something just to get everything set up so that it's a little bit different each event. Because eventually people are just going to time their shots, and eventually you'll have someone coming up with a clicking idea to get 47s and perfect 48s every game. But that's enough complaining for me. Let me know what you think of the minigames if you've played them, if you've been seeing these problems. Granted, I did have connection issues with public Wi-Fi early on, but mobile data had been working fine till recently, and now even mobile data is a problem, so I know it's not my connection there. I haven't seen too much about connection issues on comments and stuff, but it has been a common problem if you've seen streams on Beer Money Network or here, I don't know. The Beer Money Network channel, I gotta put the little plug in on that too. It would really suck to make these minigame pots be so small that we go back to the same problem we had before, where all but a small handful of players find it profitable, which, by the way, the mulligan was originally supposed to fix. Anyway, also give me some suggestions on what you would do regarding the minigames that you would want to see fixed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I've already contacted support regarding some of this, including a Wi-Fi connection issue, and I'm working with them to see if it could be something else with my connections. But it seems like I'm not the only one that are having these connection issues. I've been hearing it from a lot of people, not just the Beer Money Network, but with comments on YouTube and on Facebook and on Reddit as well. So yeah, just let me know on the comment section below, suggestions, your problems, your experiences. And I'll try to give an update after a little while to see if things have progressed in this category, especially when they start bowling sometime in the beginning of next year. So till then, y'all, see you next time.